In 2008, annual figures published by the Home Office showed that crime in Doncaster continued to fall, and some of the most dramatic statistics related to figures of crime in NDC communities. In this, the second in a series of films produced by the NDC, we look behind the figures to present a comprehensive review of crime in the NDC areas. For several months we had exclusive access to film the police at work in Doncaster. We saw at first hand the difficult and sometimes dangerous job they do. We saw that with financial help from NDC, South Yorkshire Police have been able to forge stronger links in these communities and react more decisively to the problems these communities face. We saw how NDC funding has enabled innovative technology to be employed in the fight against crime. We saw partnerships at work to tackle drugs and prostitution in NDC areas at the source of the problem. We talked to people at the sharp end of service provision, as well as those responsible for policy at central government. And we saw how local residents are working with police and other partners to help make their communities safer. What emerged is that crime is a complex issue, and one that is of great importance to everyone. In this film, we show real-life experiences in the NDC communities. We show how the money allocated to this organisation is spent, the success that it has brought, and the lessons to be learnt for the future. The NDC in Doncaster delivers regeneration to some 4,000 households, and I began by asking then Chief Executive Steve Shostak to outline the organisation's approach to reducing crime in these areas.
Crime is one of our priorities, that's number one. But it's one of several priorities. We're equally concerned about working to try and improve people's chances of getting work, trying to tackle poor health, look at educational attainment, look at the environment in which people live. Any one of those isolated would not result in overall comprehensive regeneration. We've had to approach it in a multidisciplinary way, working with partners. We're a small organisation. There's not a lot we can do in our own right. We need to work cleverly, sharply with other organisations. So tackling crime has been very much part of our partnership portfolio, working with others to provide it. We've been able to provide quite a lot of pump priming funding, but it's been very much other organisations who we've relied upon to improve the quality of their own service, incentivised, if you like, by the investment that we've made.
The majority of that investment has been in South Yorkshire Police, and so I asked two senior officers how the strategy for policing in NDC areas differed from the rest of Doncaster.
Well, the policing of NDC is really no different in terms of our policing strategy and philosophy for Doncaster. Our approach is very much embedded against community relations, community engagement with local people, and it's very much based on an intelligence-led approach to the National Intelligence Model. So we actually focus our policing activity based around the intelligence that comes to us from the public, essentially. So our approach is very much similar to what it is across the whole of Doncaster. I think the difference that you've got in the NDC area is that actually we're able to do more, and we're able to do more because of the support that we do get from NDC. So in those areas, our engagement with the local communities is probably stronger than in other areas, and that's because we have a particular structure that delivers better engagement with the public. The crime group, the resident-led crime group within the NDC are very much sort of focused on giving us their priorities and what they want to see from the police in their area. So we have a really, really strong relationship with the public. So in essence, the strategy is the same, but we're able to deliver more within NDC because of the extra support that we get. We're able to effectively put in place an extra tier of policing within the NDC areas.
I think what the New Deal for Communities programme has given us over its lifetime is a substantial increase in the level of policing, an extra tier of policing over and above what the rest of the borough experiences in terms of patrols and the safer neighbourhood teams. We now have this extra tier of policing, substantial injection of resources. What that means to the public is more police officers out on patrol, preventing and detecting crime, interacting with the local community and providing that much needed reassurance and confidence that the people want to see by visible policing. But I think also what we've started to see is that translating through into substantial results. If you look back at where we were several years ago, there was a substantial gap between the rest of the borough and the NDC in terms of crime rates. If you look now where we are, over the last 3 years particularly, we've turned a significant corner. And the gap between the rest of the borough and the NDC areas started to close. And in fact, the residential areas of the New Deal area have seen over a 25% reduction in crime rates in the last 3 years. Now that's a terrific result for all concerned, police and the partners that we work with, but particularly for the experience of local residents.
Indeed, the headline figures do show that total reported crime fell by over 7,500 in a 6-year period. However, a look at the crime figures for the NDC area shows a slight increase in the same period, a total of 5,722 reported crimes. I asked Steve Shostak if we can trust these statistics.
We can always trust statistics, Chris, you know that. Statistics are bread and butter of the NDC's world. We have to use statistical information to measure our performance. That's the first point. Can we trust them? Well, there's no doubt about it. Over the life of this NDC, the performance of all our crime prevention projects are definitely resulting in a reduction in crime. There's no doubt about that. But once you analyse statistics, you know what I'm going to get to. It's what you want to get from statistics. Interestingly, we've been analysing our crime stats for quite a few years. The first thing that happens when you start to invest in crime prevention is actually crime rates go up. They go up because there are more police on the beat and they're making a bigger impact, and therefore of course they're going to catch more perpetrators of crime. That's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is crime goes up, and it goes up again because people are starting to trust the police service. They see things happening, so they're prepared to report crime. So you're on a hiding to nothing. And certainly in an NDC like ours, we've been plagued or blessed with the town centre in our area. If you were to look at our statistics over the last 5 years, something horrendous happens every Friday night. It's the town centre, and it's one of the busiest town centres in the south, in South Yorkshire, and we love it. But it's no doubt a difficulty for us when it comes to looking at analysing those statistics.